Imagine calling your child's name over and over, but they don't even look at you. You start wondering, are they just focused on something else, or is there something more going on? Let's talk about what it means for a child to respond to people. Before kids start talking, they need to build important early skills. Instead of focusing only on getting them to say words, we should help them develop these skills first. These strategies work for kids of all ages, even older ones. Speech therapy isn't just about teaching words. It starts with pre-talking skills like paying attention and responding to people, which are big steps toward talking. So, what does it really mean for a child to respond to people? What signs show they are responding, and what signs might indicate they are not? The pre-talking skill of responding to people means that a child notices and reacts to others in social interactions. This could be through eye contact, smiling, making sounds, turning their head when their name is called, or engaging in simple back and forth interactions. For example, copying a parent's facial expressions or gestures. It's not about talking yet. It's just about how they respond when someone speaks to them or interacts with them. It's an important first step toward talking because communication starts with connection. Before children use words, they learn to engage with others and show that they are paying attention. So, what happens when toddlers don't respond to others? Let's dive into some questions you can ask yourself to check if your child might not be responding as they should. Does your child smile and seem to enjoy it when someone plays with them? For example, when you play games like peekaboo with your child, how do they respond? Do they smile back at you? Look at you? Do they join in? Or do they avoid it by looking away? What about with others? If a grandparent or a family friend tries to play with them, do they respond in some way? Do they engage when someone interacts playfully, or do they turn away? Even if a child is shy, they should gradually warm up to familiar people. Paying attention to these reactions can give you important clues about their social development. Does your child look for you when they hear you coming? When your child hears your voice or footsteps, does he stop what he's doing to look for you? Does he look up when you enter the room? Or does he stay completely focused on their toy or iPad? Does he turn his head or look around to see who's coming? Does he show excitement or interest when he hears your voice or familiar voice? How about when you're not there? When you leave the room, does your child notice or react? Does he look around for you or seem concerned when he doesn't see you? If he's been alone for a while, does he get upset, call for you, or come looking for you? It's completely typical for toddlers to seek out their parents and want attention. If a child doesn't seem to notice or care when you leave or return, that's a big red flag for social engagement delays. Does your child seem to ignore language? Does your child respond when you call their name, or do they only react sometimes? Do they follow simple directions like, "Come here," or do you have to repeat yourself many times? Even then, do you have to physically guide them to do things unless it's something they really enjoy? When you talk to them, do they seem interested and try to respond, or do they seem to ignore you? Some parents think their child has selective hearing, but it's often more than that. If a child only engages during their favorite activities, like being tossed in the air or splashing in the bathtub, but ignores communication the rest of the day, that's a sign to pay attention to. Ask yourself, when you're not doing something exciting, is your child still connected and responding to me? If not, this could indicate a delay in their ability to engage with language and people. Does your toddler consistently respond to their name? This is one of the biggest red flags for autism in toddlers. Typically, babies start responding to their name before their first birthday. So, if your child is 18 months, 24 months, or even older and still not responding to their name, this is something you'll want to address right away. Not responding to their name isn't just a small delay. It's a sign that your child isn't engaging in a typical way. Does your child prefer objects, screens, or TV over people? If your child seems more interested in watching TV, playing with the iPad, or focusing on objects rather than interacting with people, this is a big red flag. Here are some examples. Your child prefers playing alone with toys rather than joining in with family members. They are more focused on watching TV or a tablet and don't look up when someone talks to them. Instead of bringing a toy to show you or asking for help, they try to figure things out on their own. They seem more excited about pressing buttons, spinning wheels, or lining up objects than playing interactive games like peekaboo or pretend play. They rarely seek out social interaction like making eye contact, smiling, or trying to get your attention. If your child is more drawn to objects or screens and doesn't seem interested in people, it could be a sign that they need extra support in social and language development. Finally, does your child interact well with you but avoid or ignore others? If your child is comfortable with you but tends to avoid, ignore, or dislike interacting with others, this could be an important sign of social difficulties. It's natural to think that they're just shy or prefer being with family, but it's helpful to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. As parents, we love our kids deeply and always want to see the best in them. But if your child isn't talking yet, it's important to make sure we're not overlooking possible developmental challenges. Since social interaction struggles are a key part of autism, this is something to pay close attention to. A child may engage well with a parent or familiar person, but that doesn't necessarily mean they interact in a typical way with different people. By noticing these signs early, we can use the right strategies to strengthen your child's social and communication skills, giving them the best support to grow and connect with the world around them. Signs that your child is engaging with others. If you're wondering whether your child is socially responsive, here are some key things to look for. These are positive signs that show a child is connecting with and responding to people around them. Smiling at different people. Your child smiles when others talk to them, not just close family members, but also familiar faces like neighbors or caregivers. Reacting differently to different people. They show excitement when mom and dad comes home, but their reaction might be more neutral when seeing a stranger. This variety in response is a good sign. Noticing when others speak. If your child is playing and hears someone enter the room or start talking, they look up to see who it is. A child who is socially engaged will pay attention to voices and respond. Preferring to be around people. Most toddlers don't like to be left alone for long periods. They enjoy being near others and seek out social interaction. Seeking attention from others. If left alone too long, they may get upset or cry to get your attention, which is completely normal. They want to be included in what's happening around them. Responding to their name. When you call their name, they turn to look at you. This is a key social skill that develops early on. Playing happily with different people. They enjoy interacting not just with mom or dad, but also with siblings, relatives, or even friendly new people after warming up. If your child is showing these behaviors, that's a great sign that their social engagement skills are on track. If you notice they're not doing many of these things, it may be helpful to seek out guidance on ways to support their social development. Signs your child may be struggling with social engagement. If your child isn't naturally interacting with others the way you'd expect, here are some things to watch for. Limited eye contact. Your child doesn't often make or hold eye contact with you or others. You wonder if they can hear you. They don't always respond when you call their name, making you question whether they have trouble hearing. Avoiding people. They seem to ignore or avoid interactions rather than engaging with family members, caregivers, or peers. More interested in objects than people. They prefer playing alone with toys, watching TV, or using a tablet instead of interacting with others. Serious or unresponsive mood. Some parents describe their child as very serious or really focused, but it may actually be difficulty engaging socially. Not responding to others. It takes a lot of effort to get their attention, and even then, they don't always respond in a way that feels connected or interactive. Lack of social warmth. Other children or adults may feel like the child doesn't like them because they don't show the usual smiles, reactions, or back and forth interactions. Why isn't my child responding to people? If your child doesn't consistently respond to people, there could be few reasons. Hearing or vision challenges. If a child has trouble hearing or seeing clearly, they may struggle to engage with others. It's important to rule out any sensory issues as soon as possible. Delays in other areas. Children who don't respond well to people as toddlers often experience developmental delays in other skills like following directions, making friends, or learning in school. Possible sign of autism. Difficulty engaging with others can be an early sign of autism, making it a crucial skill to focus on. Why is this skill so important? Communication always involves two people. If a child isn't responding to others, they'll have a harder time learning to understand words, follow directions, and eventually talk. The reason we use language is to interact, express needs, and connect with others. So building engagement is the first step. The good news is that with the right strategies, children can improve their ability to respond to others. Parents might not realize how little their child engages until they start working on this. But once they do, many see noticeable progress within weeks or months. If you're feeling unsure, trust the process. These strategies lay the foundation for communication, and once your child starts engaging more, language learning becomes much easier.